Okay, just giving it a minute for the live stream to show up. Okay, I think we are live now. All right. Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining the webinar today. Today we'll learn mastering membership websites. And if we haven't met before, I am Farhad Khan. I'm the CEO of Member Lounge. And who we are, we build membership websites for professional associations. And we have an app called Member Lounge. And with Member Lounge, you can build a very engaging membership website very, very quickly. Now, what we have done is that we have been building like custom membership websites for a very long time, over 10 years. And we have baked all the best practices about member management, member engagement, like all into our app Member Lounge. So with Member Lounge, what you can do is that you can actually take your membership marketing on autopilot. And today in this webinar, we're going to talk about some of the best practices that we have used while building our app. And then a lot of the lessons we have learned over the years building many, many membership websites. So we have built some of the largest membership websites in Canada. And there are some very good best practices that we will share today. Okay, now we have been working with associations for over 10 years now, and if you haven't joined any of our podcasts before, we host the top association podcast in Canada. This is very popular. There's another episode coming up next week, so if you haven't joined our association podcast before, then please do join. It's next week, this time Thursday. Alrighty, and if you are joining on YouTube live, you can also post questions on YouTube. There's a live chat on YouTube, so please post questions there and we will pick up questions from YouTube live as well. All right. Okay, so before we jump in, I want to ask you, what's the biggest challenge with your membership right now? If you don't mind typing on chat, what is the biggest challenge with your membership right now? Laurie is saying member retention. Kathy is saying we're getting ready to have a membership drive. That's good. Yeah, that's great. That's actually very exciting, Kathy. Becca is saying attrition. Ouch. Yes. Absolutely. Alrighty. Okay, so we'll talk about some of these. And I think like the ideas that we will share today will help you improve your member retention overall. And then with the membership drive as well, with your messaging and all the campaigns and attrition too. So you'll see how we can kind of like lower the attrition in your membership. So let's start. Today, we're going to talk about how to manage your membership website content, the design, UX, and everything, so that you can kind of like have make your membership website way more engaging with your members. And in general, we're going to like start by looking at some of the high-level ideas and concepts that are very important for you to understand before you kind of like do all the execution. So I'm going to like spend a bit of time at the beginning to talk about the strategy, the high-level concept, and then I will like dive into some details, and then we'll show some examples on like how we have solved some of the common problems on our membership app, which is Member Lounge. So so in this during the whole process, like what you'll see is like we'll go from like concept, and then like there will be a bit of an execution, so concept, execution, and then back to concept, and then towards the end I'll bring everything together to see like how you can kind of apply all the different ideas like onto your membership site like now, like immediately. So the ideas that you often get from strategy consultants are like very high level that you cannot execute right away. So our ideas are very different. So we really like try to make sure that whatever we share, these are things that you can execute right now. So you're able to kind of like use the ideas, start a new campaign, start a new activity, and you'll get results right away. And lastly, we will also talk about what drives member engagement and how we are actually doing that, how we are driving member engagement up on our Member Lounge app. Okay, so the very first thing when you are when you should be doing when you are launching like a membership website process is planning. And I'm sure you know about like planning like very well. You have been working with associations for a very long time. So the first thing that about planning is doing an internal review, and we often start by taking on a technology, taking on a project, and without doing an internal review. So I think like the first step where we should always like look at is the internal review. And in the internal review, what you should be doing is look at the most valuable services that you have. So a lot of associations are more like buffets. So you probably have a lot of services, lots of benefits for your members because you have been around for a very long time, and as a result, you were able to like add many good services over the years. But are all those services still relevant today? Right? So we need to make sure that we are taking an internal inventory. We take a look at all the services that we have, all the member features that we have, and understand which ones are the most used by your members. So this planning process is very important. If you're taking on a new project to improve your membership website, this internal review, internal audit is the very first place you should start. And we actually have a whole workshop, a member journey audit workshop, where we will go through this process in detail. But like if you haven't done this before, then I will strongly invite you to start here, start with the internal review. And some of you have probably already like done this. You are doing the like review already. So if that is the case, then like this session will help you dig deeper into that. Okay. Now, after we do the internal review, so now that we know that, okay, so these are the things that we are offering right now, and like these are the most important services. These are probably, and there are some things that are probably less important, and combining them together, how can we move forward? So once you have done the internal review, what you should be doing is something we call member discovery interviews. So these are extremely important. So too many times what we do is that we have a tendency to only offer things that we are able to offer. So we think that this one service is a good service, that's why we will kind of like offer that service, or we just like got access to another like new partner, so we want to like share their service without really understanding how the members will benefit from them. So that's why doing member discovery interviews are very important. So what are member discovery interviews? So member discovery interviews are 30 minutes to 1 hour long interviews. These are like one-on-one phone interviews with your members. So you can do it on the phone, or you can do it on Zoom, whichever is easier for you. Like if you can do Zoom, then definitely do a Zoom session on video and record the meeting. And in that Zoom interview, in the member discovery interview, what you'll do, you'll ask the member, number one, why did they join the association to begin with, and are they getting value from their membership? Like what are the good things that are happening right now, and how can you help them better? So just start with these 3 questions. Why did they join the association? Are they getting value from the membership? And then how can you help them better? So start the dialogue, start the discussion with these 3 questions, and after that dig deeper. So then you're going to ask the member, what are some resources that you have used recently, and how has it helped you? You want to go a little like deeper when you're asking those questions, because like when the member says, oh, you know what, I really benefited from that one guide that you have, right? So then you want to ask them, how did the guide help you? You know, or how did you benefit from the guide? If it was a webinar session, then ask them, why did you think the webinar session was so good? Because what we want to do is that like we want to make sure that in these member discovery interviews, we are truly understanding what members are connecting with, what are working with members, but also at the same time, what are not working, right? So start by building on the strengths. So start by all the positives, right? So understand like what is working well, you know, like what did the members benefit from? And then you want to ask them, what are some things that the members like feel is lacking at the association? So this question will be very difficult. And we do so many discovery interviews with our clients, and asking our clients like, what do you not like about our services is often like very challenging. And it's very challenging. So what we do is that like whenever we are asking the client, what are some challenges you're facing in our work right now, we kind of like stay very neutral and make sure that like we have an open mind and we really understand what the client is saying and like where they're coming from. So this is a very difficult discussion too many times with your members. So in that like member discovery interview, it's very important that you slow down and then you understand that the members are coming at it like with a positive mindset. They're kind of like sharing good information with you. So you need to make sure that you're taking it all in and like have a constructive mindset at that point in time. So the member discovery interviews are very, very important. And as you do the member discovery interviews, you'll see that there will be a pattern that will emerge. So, and in that pattern, you'll see some key strengths that you have at the association. So, and there are many things that you are doing well already at the association for sure, right? So you want to like build on those strengths. And if there are some cold hard facts that you have to face, that these are the features or services that are not working with members. You need to know it, and the member discovery interview is a wonderful place to kind of like learn more about that. We don't want to ask this question, what is not working, in a public setting, because this is not very like friendly. I think if you ask your members in a group webinar or something, then many members may not want to like share that. But in a one-on-one setting, it's actually much more easy to share. So the member discovery interviews are actually very, very important. So in order to kind of like do the understand like why like where you should be going from wherever you're at right now. Okay, so I'm going to go deep in the planning process now. When you are planning your content, and when you are understanding that like what is actually like happening at your association membership overall, you need to make sure that you're planning your content and your benefits and everything from the point of view of your like members and like who the audiences are. So what we will do is that like our audiences are varied at the association. So we may have members, we may have staff, we may have volunteers, there's board, sponsors, prospective members. So overall, we need to make sure that all the services and benefits that we actually have for the different types of audiences, we build our membership website to cater to all of these different audiences. And in our audience, different people have different needs, and when you're building the website, you will not build the membership website for everyone in here, right? So you'll probably start with the members, then probably like slowly you'll expand into like volunteers, you'll expand into like your sponsors, right? So you need to make sure that whatever you're building, you actually have like the right audience in mind, that like I'm building this feature for this particular audience. So you need to make sure that you have an inventory that like with all these different audiences on our list, what do we need to give each member, each staff, or each volunteer, right? So for each of these different like audiences, create a list that our members will need this, staff will need this, and whatnot. This will help you in the planning process in the long run, that like even if you don't build all of these features, you will actually have a list for the roadmap for the following years. Okay. And with that, I'm just hearing that we forgot to launch a poll. So I'm just going to take a quick pause. Anika, if you don't mind like launching the quick poll. Sorry, we start our webinar with a very quick poll at the beginning too, so we can understand you better and your challenges better. So if you don't mind taking a minute to take a quick poll, and then we'll come back to the next slide. The poll is launched now, so I'll give you a couple of minutes to answer the questions. Thank you so much, Anika, for reminding me of this. So there should be a poll launched. It will just take 1 minute. If you don't mind submitting the poll very, very quickly. I see a few people have taken the poll already. There's a few more that is left. While you're taking the poll, I see this question from Jeff. Jeff is asking, we do not know enough details about what our members do in terms of development projects. So Jeff, so the member discovery interview that I talked about, so that is actually a very good place to start to understand what your members are doing. And in the member discovery interviews, what you can do is that you can also ask the member about their professional challenges, their career challenges, understand like what are the day-to-day things that they go through. And by learning more about your members, you can connect the dots that, you know what, our like 3 of our members said that they would want to have more professional development training in this particular area, meaning there is that need in our membership. Maybe we should do a webinar or do a training on this particular topic. So the member discovery interviews are very powerful, and you can do surveys as well for sure. Okay, so I think we have enough submissions for the poll, so I think it's okay to close it. Anika, thank you. I'm going to go to the next slide. Now, when we are trying to create value for members, and this so next couple of slides will be like very deep. Now, when we're creating value, we often just like understand, okay, what do the members need, or maybe like what is an idea that we have that we can implement at our association, and then we just like create that feature, create that service, and then move on from there, right? So I don't think we often like take enough time to truly understand what does it take to deliver value to our members. And when we look at value actually has like three different steps. So when you're creating a new service or a new benefit or anything at your association, or maybe you already have a benefit like that has been around for a long time, but you want to revamp it right now, you want to make it better, how should you look at it? So number one step for sure is creating the value creation at the very beginning, right? So you have to make sure that you're creating the right value. So the creating process is very, very important, how you're creating that value. So if it is a new webinar series, if it is a podcast, or if it is a new training you're creating, you have to like start by creating that like content, the training, or anything that you're looking at. Then the value that you create, so the service that you have, that's now created, right? So after that, the next step is the value delivery, right? So how are you delivering that value to your member? So if it is an in-person training, then the in-person training, the training day, that like event that you're hosting at a boardroom, or wherever, that is your delivery method. That is the way you're delivering that value to your member, right? If it is through another event, or if it is through an online portal, through your membership portal, then the portals, if you have a feature on the membership portal where a member can access that value, then that feature on the portal becomes the delivery vehicle, like the delivery mechanism for that value. So you have to create the value, then you have to have like a very good delivery mechanism for the value to reach your members, right? So we have to think about the creation, we have to think about the delivery of the value. And then the last step, which we often overlook, is the marketing of the value, right? So marketing is very important as well. Just because we have created something of value doesn't mean our members will know about it, right? So we have to make sure the value is created, the value is legitimate. This is something members need. The delivery process, the member experience is really smooth, and you're not having frictions along the way. There is a very good way for your members to access that value. And the third one, you have to promote that value to your members. And this promotion can happen in a number of different ways. And I'll talk about that a bit more. So when you actually like work on all these three areas, so creation, delivery, and marketing, when you work across like all these three, then you're going to get the highest return on investment on any member service or benefit that you launch. And what should happen is that like a good membership website will actually help you in this entire journey, in this entire process. A good membership website will help you create, deliver, and market that value or market that benefit to your members. So you have to make sure that you're using the right tools for the right job. Okay. Now, we often think that if we had a good AMS, so if your association is kind of like transitioning from your previous way of working and you are looking at a new AMS or a new member management system, we often think that if we just have like a good AMS, it will solve all of our problems, right? So, and then like as a result, we take on a big project and then we start revamping our AMS or our membership system. Now, in reality, what we found is that technology is really a tool, and technology can expand your reach. Technology can help you reach newer audiences, like a broader scale and all that. But your strategy is extremely important, right? The strategy that you're using to bring your services and benefits to your members is extremely important. That's why the previous slide, like the 3 steps of the value creation process, that is very important. And what we find is that no one tool can do all of this really, really well. So in the association world, you will actually like come across many different tools, and oftentimes like many associations will use like one AMS to do it all. And we have found that like whenever we try to use like one AMS to do it all, like we did not have a good experience, so the AMS or the big system will do a little of everything, but it won't do anything that well. So it will not do any one job really, really well. So that's why, and we have been working with so many membership websites over the years, over the past decade, right? And then we came up with our magic 3-part membership website formula. So this 3-part membership website gives us the most flexibility and the best traction with our members, with the audience, and then with the association staff as well. So in the 3-part membership website formula, what we say is that you need to have a public website to begin with. So the public website is for your prospective members. So, and in the public website, what you'll do, you have to create some value for your prospective members, right? So otherwise your prospective members will not join the association. So the public website is really for your prospective members. And then there are your other stakeholders and the public in general. So this is what you want your public website to be. And then the goal of your public website will be to communicate the value of your work. The public website will be a marketing machine that will be designed to bring you prospects, that will be designed to bring you members. And while your prospects are they're still prospects and they haven't paid you to become a member, all they will use is the public website, and then they will probably not have access to the member portal yet. Now, the second piece of the puzzle is the member portal. The member portal is the place where your members will log in and they will get access to all of your services. So the member portal will be the one-stop shop for your members to access all your association services without any distraction. Oftentimes, if we see associations will combine their website and the member portal together. So the moment you log in to your member portal, the website navigation is still there, and then members are lost. Oh, you know what? How do I go to the members area? And then you have mixed navigation. Some navigation for the member portal, some navigation for the website, and it's not very easy to follow. So we strongly recommend that the public website and the member portal be two separate entities, that are connected. So they will share data with one another. They will exchange a lot of information, but they should be separate entities, or at least design it in a way that the moment you log into the member portal, all the navigation from the public website, they disappear. Everything disappears, and anything that you see is for the member only at that point in time. So your goal for the member portal will be deliver the member and partner services that are there at your association. So your member portal is like the service delivery mechanism for your association to your members. Okay, and the third piece of the puzzle is your CRM. The CRM's audience is really your staff. So CRM is also the member database. So your staff will probably most of the time interact with your member data to understand where the members are at, if a member had a support ticket or if there are renewals, if you got a request from your members. So your staff will be managing the member database like that. So the audience for your CRM is the staff. So you need to make sure you're building the right things for the right audience. And your staff will probably spend time across all the different platforms, because they have to manage a bit of the portal, they have to manage a bit of the website, right? But most of the time I see that association staff will spend their time on the CRM to maintain the member database overall. So I was saying that if you have one big tool that you're using to do it all, then oftentimes the experience is not as great as it can be. So that's why a 3-part membership website solution actually works really, really well. And we have applied this with so many associations over the years that and it works really well. Okay, now we applied some of our ideas to one of our client websites, so the Writers Union of Canada, and with all the ideas that we have implemented with them, they have actually seen a 5 times increase in their website signups. This is mind-boggling that with just applying some right ideas, right strategies, that you can get 5 times increase in website signups. And the director of the organization, Siobhan, was so happy overall. So she left us a testimonial after the project. Okay, now I'm going to jump into some of the details of the membership website. So first of all, what do you need on the website? What are some key things that you must have? So the first thing is definitely, like I said before, good navigation and search, right? So your navigation cannot be cluttered. So if you have menus after menus after menus and members cannot find what they're looking for, then that's a letdown for sure. So we wouldn't want anything like that. We need to make sure that the navigation is extremely simple. And if you must do multiple navigation, then create a mega menu, a one big navigation that actually has one level of nested menu. Try not to go beyond one level of nesting. Beyond one level of nesting is a bit challenging. So try to make sure that you have one clear navigation. If you have 2, 3, 4 navigations on the website, then it's already like a lost cause, right? So if you have multiple navigations on the membership website, then all the different navigations compete for attention, right? And then the members will be lost. Which one do I click on to get to where I'm willing to go? So you need to make sure you have good navigation. And then if you have a lot of content, you have to have very good search as well. So I'm pretty sure that a lot of you probably have a good resource library. So if you have a good resource library, if you have a lot of good content, you have to have a very functional search. So this is a no-brainer nowadays. If you don't have a good search and people can't find information quickly, then again, we're kind of letting our members down. Okay, and I'll actually give you a very quick example at this point in time. I'll jump into our member launch platform and I'll come back. So this is an example of our member launch platform. So in this, So what you're seeing right now is the homepage of our membership website platform called Member Launch. Now, what you'll see is that, like I just talked about good navigation, and the navigation and the UX has to be very, very clean. So you'll see that we have only focused on one navigation bar on the left. We have no other navigation, right? So one navigation on the left, and it's very clear. So if I come to events or resources, so I'll just click on events maybe, right? So when I click on events, it's pulling up the events right away, and the box expands to show me the different event options that I have. So that menu expands, and it's very clear that, oh, these are like all events and these are my events, right? So, and the navigation is very clear. It's one clear navigation on one side. We don't have top navigation here, or we don't have anything else. We do have a second navigation though, but that's to manage my account. So there's that here, right? But this is very clear, very standard. People are very used to following like their profile icon or like the name here at the top to manage their account. So what we did is that anything to do with the member account has been moved up there. So there's one simple navigation to manage the profile, and then all of the navigation is within the left sidebar. And we try to make sure that is very, very clear, very, very clean, and you don't have to go through many different menus to get to what you're looking for. And then the other part is that like you have to have very good search and categorization. So I'll jump into our resources area just to give you a quick glimpse. I'll show you a more in-depth demo later on, but just to like touch on a few things. So if in the resources area that we have, like, so these are all the resources, right? So when I come to this page, if a member wants to look for any resource that they're looking for right now, they can quickly click on some categories, and you see that the whole experience, like the resource list below, it filters on the fly. The experience is so snappy, right? And these are things that are not like not intuitive. These are like very intuitive. People will come here, they will click on the categories, and they will find what they're looking for very, very quickly, right? I'll reset this, and you'll notice that in this resource library that we have created, we do not have subfolders after subfolders. We put everything on one page. So it's very easy for a member to find anything. So they can just scroll and see what they're looking for. And this interface, this UI, caters to different types of member behavior. Some members are more likely to scroll and find and browse the content to see if there's anything that is of interest to them. Some members are slightly more savvy. They'll click on a few categories because they know what they're looking for. So this is part of a navigation though. So these look like subcategories, but this is really part of navigation. It's navigation hidden, like in the page. So you can filter the content you're looking for very, very quickly. Or if you know exactly some keywords that you're looking for, there's a very functional search on the site. So if I just search for a common keyword member, you'll see we have a very functional search, and all the search results are coming up very, very quickly. And the search results are even grouped in categories. So I'm showing all results right now, but if you click on events or resources, you'll see the different types of content that we found from that search. So this is what I mean, that like you need to have like a very good navigation. The navigation should be extremely simple. And you see that like when we logged in here, the main public websites navigation actually went away. So typically what will happen if I come to, I'll give you an example of a client website. So this is this is one of our client websites, Skate Ontario. And what will happen is that on their public website, they have this link, members portal. When members click on this members portal, they're taken to the member portal here. Right, and then you'll see that like there's nothing about the public website here anymore. So this navigation has disappeared. There's nothing there anymore, and then you will actually jump into everything that is for the member only. Okay. So this is what I mean by smooth UX and like a very powerful search. Now, also the last point here, there shouldn't be any dead ends, right? So you should always let the member connect with one more thing while you are kind of like at it. I see a question there from Lori. Do you suggest logging for members information or into the member portal? I'm not sure if I understand the question. Do you suggest login for member information or into the member portals? Oh, got it. Yeah. So I think the login that I was just showing you here, yeah. So when you log into the member portal, what we have done is that so the moment you click here and then you come to the member portal, you'll actually get all the members information here. So any resource, any upcoming event or anything will be here, and the members' information. So for example, the members' own information, even the membership renewal will actually happen within the member portal over here. So once you become a member, you take them to a different journey altogether. Now, if it is a new member signing up for the first time, that you can do maybe from the public website. So there is probably like a new member like sign up page. You click on the sign up, and then there are some registration pages. And once you have become a registered member, then the next time you log in, you come to the members portal directly. Okay. Alrighty. Now, what I was saying is that there should not be any dead ends overall. And what I mean by no dead ends is that if you have gotten to the content that you are looking for, right, you should always inspire the member to look for more content or engage a bit more with the association. And we have built so many different tools in the member portal for that on our website. So I'll just show you an example. So say you are in the resources area, right, and then you are watching this one resource. I'll click on this one resource, right, and you have finished watching this. What you'll see is that under the one resource, the webinar that we have here, we're showing some related resources at the bottom. So once a member has finished watching this is a queue for members to see related content, some more content on the same topic, right? And then also, so this is what I mean by don't leave any dead ends. So if you give the members some more options, they are much more likely to browse some related content, right? But if there was nothing here, the member would have nothing to see, right? They will just look at this one content and that will be the end of it. So we should not leave any dead ends in your navigation, in your experience overall. So we try to remove the dead end by doing two things in this experience overall. First of all, we added this related content area at the bottom. And the second thing that we have done is that we added this X at the top, as if I have finished watching this content. Now I have to close out of the window. So what happens is that by doing that, if I close out, I am taken back to the home page by default. And here I see more content. Right. So these are some ways how you can kind of remove the dead ends, and you'll see that there are no dead ends anywhere on our website here overall on the member portal platform that we have. Okay. Now, the other thing that you should do in your overall user experience is you have to remove friction. So you have to make sure that the most important areas that you have on the website, these are not difficult to access and manage. Now, the main areas that generate revenue for an association are registration, renewal, and non-dues revenue. And these things come up again and again. So registration is a place where you make money. Your membership renewal is another place where you make money. And the non-dues revenue, which is donations, sponsorships, and if you have paid courses or trainings, these are non-dues revenue, right? So the things that make you money, you have to make sure that you're removing friction from all the different areas. So what do I mean by this? If in the registration process you have a long form to fill up, and if you don't really need all these forms to approve the member, maybe remove some of the forms from the registration page, right, and put them on the member profile. Keep your registration process as short as possible, so it's not it's not a challenge for the member to finish, right, and the members can finish it relatively quickly. So make sure you remove as much friction as possible from these most important areas, and find another way of doing the same. So the registration form is a very common example where many times we see our association clients will actually have many long fields in the forms, and the forms are really long. So what we encourage them to do is that make the registration step very, very simple, the bare minimum that you need. So if you're a certifying body, then I think you may be obligated to only give membership to certain people who have a certain certification. So make sure that you only collect the bare minimum in that case, and don't turn the registration form into a survey form. The registration form is not a place for you to do surveys. So imagine we ran a poll at the beginning of the webinar here, right? So all these poll questions are things we want to learn about our audience. But what if we put all that poll on the event registration page, the webinar registration page? How difficult would it be for you to sign up? It would be very difficult, right? So what we did is that on the webinar sign up page, we had the bare minimum. We had your name, email, your designation, and one question you have on this topic. And we left it at that. That's it, right? Now, once you're here, once you're in the webinar, we ran a poll to collect more information to get to know you better. So that's exactly what we would invite you to do on your registration form, renewal, and for non-dues revenues. So anywhere you can remove friction, remove the friction. Okay. Now, what goes on the membership website? Like, what are the different content items that you should put on the membership website, and what do members value? So I'm going to share some patterns here that we have seen, and I'm going to like let you choose your own adventure, right? So find out like which one of these actually makes sense to you and only apply those. Like, you don't have to do all of this, but do like what applies like best to your situation. So resources are one of the top like things that we see all the time. So I just showed you a resource library example. So if you have like very good like training videos, webinar recordings, or good short form videos on particular topics, right? If you have those are very good for members. If you have guides on the work that they do. So if you're like an athletics association, then if you have like guides or like things for athletes, if you have like things about their profession, then you can actually put up those guides. If you have worksheets on certain things, so for example, like the Skate Ontario website that I just showed you, our client, they actually hold like skating contests, right? So since like a lot of their members will hold skating contests, they need like worksheets and guides and SOPs for running those skating contests. These contests are like big contests that actually happen at like arenas. So they are very involved, right? So the whole production process of the contest is actually very challenging. So they have like best practices, guides, worksheets, and SOPs for that. So if your members can value things like that, then you can put up content like that. The next piece of content is training. So if you have professional and certification training, then those trainings are very powerful. So we see this being like very, very popular. And I'm pretty sure you know like all about this. Like if you're an association, I'm sure you have some trainings at your association. But like the whole idea is that like 3-step process, that you have to create the value, have a delivery mechanism, and then you have to have some promotion as well, right? So all three has to go hand in hand. And the other areas that we see are very common is that you want to have a good, vibrant community so your members can connect with like-minded people. What we have seen in membership service is that like 3 years in a row, the number one reason members join the association is to be part of a community, right? So if you are not giving your members a good community where they can connect with one another, then I think we're missing out. And then also your members want experts. They want to learn from the other experts in the community, right? So if you have like experts in their field, and if they can come and like hold trainings or like seminars or webinars, then like you actually want to like give those opportunities to experts and to your members to connect with one another. And another common trend that we see is that like members often want to connect with trusted suppliers. So if so as an association, you actually have a collective like buying power, and you also can make sure that you vet your suppliers who are kind of like catering to your membership, and you can bring your suppliers into your community as well as sponsors or maybe business members. It can be a different tier of membership. So your experts and trusted suppliers can have like different tiers of membership, and you can let them engage with your community in different ways. But in general, I think like we find that these are some patterns that actually work really well for your association. So you have to make sure you have the content that we talked about, the guides, resources, and then number 2, we need to make sure that you actually like have the trainings and whatnot. And then like you bring all of that together with like these 3 main areas. Okay. Now I'm going to give you an example of like applying the value creation process to one webinar as an example, right? So say you are going to like launch a webinar, you have a webinar coming up, right? So how do the different ideas like creation, delivery, and marketing apply to one webinar? So when you're creating the content of one webinar, you have to organize the details of the webinar, right? So who's going to like do the webinar? Do you have like an external host, external guest, or is it like an expert from the community, or who is it? So you have to organize the details, right? You have to make sure it's on a good topic. You have good content. You help the presenter with the content and whatever they'll be like presenting with, right? So that is the creation process. That's how you create value, right? The delivery process is the website page where the members will sign up for the webinar, right? The registration process, there's that. The webinar tool you will use, right? So we are using Zoom for the webinar. And then if you're doing video recording, then like how can the members, like people who could not join the webinar, how can they view the recording later, right? So this is the delivery process. So if you make this delivery process simple, then it will be easier for you to connect with your members. So that is what I mean by delivery. And different types of value will have different types of delivery mechanisms. So you have to make sure you're using the right delivery process. And then the last thing is marketing. So once you have actually created the like content and the webinar topics and whatnot, you have to promote that webinar like through email campaigns, social media, like on your website. And there is marketing before and after the webinar. So there's marketing before to invite people to come to the webinar. And then the marketing after is for people who missed the webinar. They could not attend because something came up, right? And this will happen, something will come up. So you have to make sure you make the webinar available to your members on your member portal. So then like you have to promote that recording on your member portal, so there's marketing after the webinar as well. So this is what I mean by like the whole like the value creation journey. So creation, delivery, and marketing. You have to do all three at once. Now I'm going to talk about like an idea that that we teach in our workshop. So we haven't talked about this before in like in our like free webinars, but I'm going to like talk about this here. We often like work on a lot of different like ideas and benefits and like services for our members, right? And then like some benefits like work well, some benefits don't work well, right? So I want you to look at your benefits like from the angle of your superpower. So each association has a superpower. I believe that like every person in this world and every association, every organization in this world, like they actually have a superpower, and we want you to find what your superpower is. Now, what is a superpower? So if you want to understand your superpower, we want to understand like by looking at these three circles. So in this Venn diagram, if you look at these three circles, so the number one circle is what can you offer? So as an association, what is within your wheelhouse? What can you realistically offer to your members? So understand what can you offer to your members, okay? And then you have to do member discovery interviews and surveys to understand what do your members actually need. So that's this circle here. So like what are the things that members need, and what are the things that members are willing to pay for? So you really need to do surveys, and you really need to like make sure that you are like doing member discovery interviews to understand these, right? Understand what members need and what are they willing to pay for. And then the last circle here is what is scarce. What are the things that members cannot find elsewhere? If a member can just like do a Google search and find that thing that you're like offering like for free on Google, or maybe there's like a cheap training somewhere else, the member will not pay for it for your to your association, right? So you need to make sure that like whatever you're offering, like is something that you can realistically offer in a cost-effective way. And then these are the things that members actually need and they're willing to pay for. And then finally, that item that you're offering, the benefit is scarce in the market, right? And if the services that you have fall like in the dead center of these three circles in the Venn diagram, that is your association superpower, right? So I want you to kind of like go back and take an inventory of all the services and benefits that you have at the association right now, and like take each service and put them in different spots in this Venn diagram, right? You will see that like the ones that you're having the most traction with, they're very likely in the dead center of your superpower. They're here, right? And the things that are actually like not working as well, they will fall either in the red zone, so in the yellow zone. So for example, this is like a yellow that intersects like, so here we have two circles that are intersecting. Again, here this is a yellow zone, right? Members are like willing to pay for it, and then you can offer it, but maybe this is not scarce, right? So then some people will like buy it, some people will not, right? So then now and then the others will be in red zone, right? So the red zones are things that should avoid completely. So if your service like falls in one of the red zones, that something you can offer but it is not scarce and members don't need it, then remove the service altogether, right? So over time, what you should do is that you should kind of like take an inventory of all your services and benefits and slowly converge everything into the dead center of your superpower, right? You need to bring everything, like into the dead center, and that's when you will see you'll get the highest traction with your audience. Okay, now when you know your association superpower, when you have found out like what your superpower is, how do you use it? Once the superpower is identified, right? Or the superpower will often be like a few things, not one thing, right? So once you have found out what the superpowers are, you want to focus on like that superpower to create all of your content, all the services. So in the creation process, you want to make sure that you're not creating any additional service or any additional like webinar or anything that does not fall in your superpower area, right? You need to make sure that the next event that you have, the next content, next service that you promote, they actually fall in your superpowers. Once you have done that, we notice that oftentimes the delivery and the marketing is an afterthought, right? So we don't spend enough time on the delivery and the marketing, but these two are very, very important, right? And I know like these are less exciting. So the delivery process, that like the technology and the marketing is less exciting for associations in general. Associations, they don't enjoy the marketing process oftentimes, or they don't enjoy the technology tools like most of the time, because the tools are not as simple to use, right? So these become an afterthought. So, but we need to make sure that we do spend enough time in the delivery and marketing as well. So what we have done is that like in our member launch like process, we have tried to automate the delivery and the marketing process for you, right? So the delivery process is like extremely simple. So the resources library that I showed you is extremely simple to use. It's extremely simple for you to create content, and it's very easy for your members to like use content, right? Overall, right? So our focus with member launch is to automate as much as we can in the delivery and the marketing process, while you can focus on your craft, on the creation of the value. So you create the value, and our technology platform will help you reach your audience. It'll help you like expand your reach to your audience. So like the whole like member launch platform was designed to take your membership marketing on autopilot. So this is what we are focused on. Now, one of our clients, the Skate Ontario. So I just give you an example of Skate Ontario. So once we built the membership portal on our like platform member launch, what their director, and the like. So Derek used to be the director before he became the COO now. So now he's the COO. So what Derek was saying is that the member portal that we have launched has become an invaluable asset like for our members, right? And it really increases our value proposition to our members. So and like we want you to kind of like do the same with your membership. Your members should get so much value from your association overall that renewals should be a no-brainer, right? And that's what we do with the member launch platform. So with that, we actually, if you liked what we are talking about so far, we actually have like an in-depth audit, like member journey audit workshop that we hold. So in that like workshop, what we do is that we take apart your membership journey overall. We look at like what are the different steps your members are going through, what is working well, what is not working so well, and we create a member engagement action plan for your association. So in that action plan, you'll actually have like tangible actions and steps that you can take immediately for your members. So if anyone wants to like learn more about the member journey audit that we have, like please like let us know. So there's you can book a quick call with our team to learn more about this. So Anika, if you don't mind sharing the link to book a call. So if anyone thinks that you want to like learn more about the workshop, the hands-on workshop that we do, please like book a time with our team. In case there's a link on chat. Alrighty, so I'll do a bit more demo like for the member launch platform. Who here wants to see a quick demo of member launch? I'll show you a bit more of like what is there. If you want to see the demo, like please say yes on chat. Just type yes and I'll continue. If not, like we will wrap up early. Okay, Jeff is saying yes. So we have at least one yes. Anyone else wants to see a demo? A quick demo of the other areas of member launch. Looks like only Jeff. Okay, so Jeff, I'll show you a quick demo and we won't make it like too long. Alrighty, so the few areas that we have focused on member launch is that like we want to make sure that we drive member engagement with your members, while you can actually focus on your craft, right? So you'll see that the moment you log into member launch, we show you a timeline of all the activities that are happening at the association, right? So the homepage is a timeline. Now, why did we build a timeline? Members come to your association, like for new content, new ideas to engage with one another, right? So what brings members back to your association again and again is newness, right? And all the social media platforms, they actually capitalize on that. They show you new notifications, they show you new content. They pick up old content and someone who has posted a comment on that, like they kind of like show that content one more time. So we try to make sure that we keep that newness in the association all the time. Right, so we are always like showing new content on the timeline in the center. So whenever a member is logging in, they will see something new, and depending on the member's permission, they will see something different every single time, right? And I showed you the resources area, so I won't go deep into that. I'll show you the discussions area very, very quickly. So we have like a vibrant discussions area as well in the portal. So what you can do in the discussions area is that you can create discussion groups among your members. So for example, like if you have like different membership tiers, you can create a discussion group for each tier, or maybe on different topics, so on the different topics that your members are like interested in. And the members, each card here is a discussion group. Right, so and that like if you want to follow that whole group, you can click on follow here, and then you'll get email notifications, right? And anything happening in that group will send you an email, and you click on that email, you click on a link on that email, and it'll take you back to the membership portal, and they will see the discussions. So if I go into the discussion, you'll see that the discussions area is extremely simple. It's like more like a social media group, and if you scroll down, This is like a discussion forum with a social media twist on it, right? And it's very easy to follow. And if you want, you can follow just one thread if you don't want to follow the whole group. And anytime you want to interact with any content, like you can post a comment right here, right? And or you can post a new topic at the top. Now, anytime you're interacting with any of the content, it'll automatically subscribe you to that thread. And then next time when there's a new post, you will get an email notification on that. And that will bring you back to the portal overall. Okay, so this is the discussions area, and this discussions area, you can actually like have like fine-grained control over who has access to what. So for example, if I edit this, you'll see that we have these permission groups on the edit page, and on the edit page here, if I click on this, you see that this discussion group is for like these membership tiers. I can add more if I want. We can like create a discussion group for your board members, for your volunteers, for your community of practice, like anything you want. So you can define the permission groups like that. All right. So I will just quickly show you the events area, and then we will look at some of the audience questions that we had. Now, the events area, you can kind of like use it as a replacement of like an event tool that you're using right now. If you're using Eventbrite, Zoom webinar, or something else, you can use our events tool as a replacement of that. So you can post your webinar or event here, and this tool will take care of the marketing for you. This tool will actually like promote the webinar on your behalf. It will send email notifications and reminders on your behalf. And we actually have like very good integration with Zoom as well. So what happens is that like whenever you whenever someone signs up for a webinar, if you're using Zoom webinar, then we have direct integration with Zoom webinar, and the people signing up on this platform on Member Lounge will show up on Zoom webinar as well, right? So we have like a very good integration. So if you have like, you know what, like those of you who have signed up for this webinar, you have already used Member Lounge, right? So the sign up process was through Member Lounge. It was connected through Zoom, right? So all the emails that you got, if you liked the email, they came directly from Member Lounge. So we use our own tool for our own events and for all of our own content. So we actually like see a lot of like benefit from doing that. Alrighty. So with that, I'm just going to like take some audience questions. I'll pull up my questions list. Oh, sorry. So I see Jeff's question is highlighted here, meaning it was an important one. Establishing web pages, emails for specific topics of interest for members through the website. Okay, what do you mean by this? Ah, got it. Yes. So what do we want to do? We actually want to make sure that like any like email content that we are sending, so email marketing or anything that we're sending, they are relevant for your members. So we are not kind of like sending anything and everything to your members overall, and it should be the content that your members are getting are relevant to the topic of interest, right? So that's why what we have done is that like we have like implemented this follow features all across the website, right? You can actually like follow different topics, content, and types of things overall, right? When you like, and then we don't want to like blast anything and everything to everyone, right? So we want to make sure that the content is like curated like for what a user wants to see. That's why we have all these like follow notifications, right? So if you're following an event or a discussion forum or something, or discussion or something else, then you can actually like follow that content and you'll only get email notifications from that one content. So this is what we have done. This was our approach. It wasn't easy to do on a website in general, but what we have done is that we have like done this like based on the topics of interest. So you follow certain topic on the platform, and then like as a result, you get relevant email notifications. Alrighty. So I'll take a few more questions from the list. Tabitha. So Tabitha actually had a question. Actually, I'll take Laurie's question first. So this is highlighted. So Laurie was asking best ways to organize hundreds of membership resources docs in multiple languages. Oh my God. Yeah. If you have hundreds of membership resources, then how do you organize so many of them? So again, like what we have done in our approach is that like we have like a searchable, sortable resource library. So we show all the content on one page to begin with. So the homepage of the resources like area actually has hundreds of resources, and you'll see this is an infinite like timeline. The more you scroll, the more content you will get. right? So you can host hundreds of content like this here, and they're actually categorized very, very easily. So you see that we put this category tags at the top. You can have many tags here, right? And then when you select those tags, they're like filtered very, very quickly. So if you have things on different like languages, you can have the language filter here as well, that filter content based on language and only show me content that are in like English or French or Spanish, right? And you can like narrow down very, very quickly like that. Okay. And again, like also you can do search. So if you have hundreds of resources, you want to make sure you have a very good search so that members can find the content they're looking for, like without like much hassle. It should be very easy. You want to remove as much friction as possible. Kathy had a question. What's the best way to run a membership drive from your website? What's the best way to run a membership drive from your website? Okay. Yeah. So you need to make sure that when you're running a membership drive, like this is a very common question, right? So I'll show you an example of a client website. So if you have to do a membership drive, like just before renewal time, I think that is really too late. What you have to do, you have to make sure that you are running the membership drive throughout the whole year. And one idea that works really well is that like you have to give away some freebies on your membership website. So this is one of our client websites. So see what we have done here. We redesigned their whole public website, and we built their member portal as well. And this is the website that got 5 times like sign up increase, once we redid everything. And what we did, we looked at their data before. We looked at all the data like downloads and whatnot, right? And we found out like what are the top downloaded items on the website. And we found that this association, they had this FAQ, this guide, getting published guide, that actually had the highest downloads across everything else. Then what we did, we turned that one content into a free downloadable guide on the homepage, and we're giving it out for free. If I click on this, you see there's a free download, right? So you need to make sure that you're giving away some freebies on your like public website. So this is one of the best ways to do a membership drive, right? That way you can give your members, prospective members, a glimpse of like what it is to be a part of your membership, right? So you can, and when they download this guide, you're collecting their email, and once you get their email, you send them like a promo campaign to get them to sign up for your membership. And the one more thing that we have done is that we have this getting published guide, and along with that, we also show download a sample of our resources, right? So the top resource, the number one resource, we give it away for free here, right? And then the next few resources, we created a sampler, a preview of the remaining resource. So we put like the 1 or 2 pages of each resource, and we created like a downloadable like a zip file here. So we do download a sample of resources. So anyone who wants to be a member, they will download this sample first, right? So they'll freely download a sample, so they know what they will get by being a part of the membership. And then it's much more like it's much easier for us to convince them to become a member because they have seen a sample, right? So this is a very powerful way to run a membership drive. Another very powerful way to do a membership drive is to kind of like do some free events. So you saw like on our member launch platform, you can hold events. I would encourage you to kind of like do some of the events like for free, like, so most of our events will probably be for your paid members, but leave some of the like events to be free. So your prospective members can sign up for free and you collect their email, right? And once they have seen what your events are like, you invite them to the future events, but you tell them, you know what, you have attended one event, but now you have to be a member to sign up to our future events. So this is how you can do a membership drive without sounding salesy. You can tell people buy our membership, sign up. You can do all of that, but it's not as convincing, and like we don't feel good doing that. But instead, if you give people value and if you show people a sample of the value that they will get, then it's much easier for the member to convince themselves, and it's easier for you to convince your members as well. All right, so these are some really powerful ways to do a membership drive. So the membership drive should be value driven. It shouldn't be salesy. You have to sell with value, sell with a story. All right, so it's 4 o'clock and we're running out of time. So I think with that, we will wrap up. I'm just going to like go back to my slides one more time. Okay, so like lastly, if you like what you see so far, so some other areas we can help you with is that like we can help you do a member journey audit for your association. So the member journey audit is a workshop that you can do with our company, and then we also build the membership website. So if you think that like you want to learn more about how you can apply these ideas to your association, right, book a call with me, and then I'll be happy to like take like a free call with you. There's no obligation to buy or anything at all. So the first call with you will be to really understand how to apply these ideas to your association, right, and then like how like what is the next step for you, and if you can really benefit from a new membership website. So you can book a call like with the link. You can find the link on the chat. And overall, like thank you so much for joining the webinar today. It was great having you here on a summer like afternoon. I know you have a lot of other things that you could do, but you joined us on our webinar, so I really appreciate it. And you can actually see a free demo of Member Lounge, a longer demo of Member Lounge on our website at memberlounge.app. And if you want to reach out to me, feel free to send me an email. Like my email is on the screen. I'm very active on LinkedIn, so reach out to me on LinkedIn as well. And we are actually having another podcast event next week. So if you haven't been to our podcast before, definitely join the podcast. They're very, very powerful and they're really wonderful. So with that, I'm going to wrap up for today. We wish you all the best with your membership journey, and I will see you on the next event. Bye for now.